In today's video, I will be doing a build battle against my girlfriend. And you might remember, I did a build battle last year against her, and well, we know clearly who won. But now she has been practicing all year and she wants a rematch. So let's just get straight into this. And we start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Alright, I'm going to start off with, of course, a roller coaster. And I can always choose out of a lot of options, but I'm going to go for the Beyond Vertical Lounge coaster. Or is it called like that? I actually don't remember. Alright, I need to make sure I place this somewhat in the middle. So first of all, I am going to make this a lounge. Alright, so it's going to actually do a hold break first, since I need to make sure it just stops, and then we are going to launch it. I don't think this should be too long. I think this actually seems kinda nice. Alright, so before I'm actually going to continue with this layout, I'm going to do something fun. I am going to make sure there is going to be another lounge right along it that is going to be like good. I don't know how I'm going to say that. Let me just build it. So from this point on, I'm also going to build the boosters again that are basically the same length, like this, and then from here I'm not really sure what's going to do. So we are going to start probably go up quite a lot. I really actually enjoy building this roller coaster type. It's always a lot of fun. And we are going to start with a fun sort of top hat. This launch is not going to be too fast. So if I'm correct, this should hopefully be enough. And I'm actually going to like overbank it a little bit to make it more playful, I guess. And then we're going to rotate it to the side. And I'm not really sure where I am actually going to go. I just know I should not build too much on the left and the right of the lounge, since I do actually have a plan for that. And I don't really know what Lena is going to do, but she has started actually her roller coaster, and I think it's like the Vekoma Extreme Lounge Coaster. Oh, and she is removing everything again. Alright, well, we're going to continue with our layout. Alright, well, of course, we only have 1 hour to complete this build, so it's not going to be the longest roller coaster in the world, but I do think I have quite a fun plan for this, so let's just make that go like that. And as always with the layout, I don't know, I am literally just doing something completely random at the moment. So I just did like the top hat, overbank turn, and now I want to actually have an inversion, but yeah, as we know, I'm not the best at that. Alright, well, we have at least something. I don't think it's going to be smooth, but it's not the end of the world if it isn't perfect. Alright, well, we do have to slowly head over to the other lounge, which it is going to be sort of like a Mobius loop roller coaster. They will launch, hopefully, if I can time it correctly, at the same time. But of course, the first 5 minutes have actually already passed. Uh-oh, this is going to be a difficult challenge. Now, what I'm doing right now, don't question me. To be fair, this... Actually, let's not do that. That seems not like a great idea. Actually, what I want to do here is probably rotate back. And while I'm with Lena actually finished her first part of the layout too. Oh, and she's deleting everything again. And I probably should start testing this roller coaster, but right now I am just too lazy to do that. So let's just continue building the layout. And if we then place block break like this, which I think are hopefully long enough, which I think, yes, fits perfectly. So if you reset here, we are going to go a little bit through the ground, but that is completely fine within the rules. And to actually stay here, I think I'm going to stay actually in the ground, something like that, which may be going to look a little weird, but we can hopefully work around with it. Now I just need to make sure I find a way of getting back to the second lounge. Before I'm going to build actually this part right here, I think we should definitely have a test on this roller coaster. So I want the trains to be too long indeed, and then, well, let's test it for now. I don't know if this is going to launch too quick or too slow. Of course, we'll eventually also change how long this block break stops, so we can time them basically or hopefully perfect, or maybe we don't even need it. So let's launch all the way up. That is definitely too quick, but at least we can see if the track is somewhat smooth. I am very curious about this inversion. It's not it's okay. I think it's okay for like what we're doing with this build battle. I think it's fine. Alright, well, now that we at least know it will make this whole section, it is time for the second section of this roller coaster. And I'm not really sure what I want to do for this section. It's probably going to be another somewhat top hat, although I don't want to have it the exact same, which will be kinda boring actually. So what else could we do? Maybe we just go in an inversion here. Which, of course, this does have to be quite big since we already have some speed and we're going to launch again. As always, as I said, I don't really have a plan. I don't know if Lena has, but she is also working on a roller coaster. I do think I have a little bit more layout than she has. But, of course, you guys can actually see what she's doing. I have not really any idea what's happening over there. Now, what I'm building right now, call it spaghetti. I really don't know what I am creating, but I hate it. I really hate it. I don't know what to do here. What I guess I can do is make a top hat that goes like this and then it goes back. Maybe that's more fun, although it might be a bit too tall. And then from here, the roller coaster is probably not going to be too long, since it is actually already quite decently long. I just want to make sure there's enough room or like roller coaster layout here so I can build like the desert around here. Now I do of course have to look out for the buildings that will be there, but I think we can probably go over that. Now right here, I guess I'm just going to make a S-turn. Those are always very nice and very smooth to make. This looks actually really nice, although this is way too overbanked for that, so let's fix that. We should be able to create somewhat of a smooth inversion here. They're not all going to be great or nice, but it needs inversions. And from here, it's probably just going to do a helix into the brakes very quickly, just because I don't want to make this coaster too long, and I feel like I already have made it possibly a bit too much. I cannot wait to change the color of the track, since I really dislike the black actually. And if we then connect like this, it actually looks pretty fire. This is going to be the first test to see if it actually works or makes the end. I am probably most scared after this part. While I'm at it, let me remove some of the terrain here. Now what this is going to be, I'm not really sure. I think the best possible thing for like something that's Western themed is like a canyon. So I guess we can try and fit that in. Okay, is it going to make it? That is the big question right now. So let's see where it's going to go. It goes all... No, it does actually not go all the way up. Alright, so before I'm actually going to build anything, I'm probably just going to paint the terrain. Should I do limestone? I feel like limestone or either sand. I just don't really like how sand looks. Probably works the best, at least for our base layer. So time to paint this basically all over the entire plot. Oh my god. We have a little bit more than 40 minutes left. So I built this coaster in less than 20 minutes, which I think I'm quite happy with. Okay, I think this is for now probably pretty good enough. Alright, well let's see how the timing is going to be with the lounge right now. This one needs to wait a little bit longer. Now it's time to start building the western houses. And I do have prepared some images that I can, well, work off as inspiration. So, well, let's just get our primitive and start building. I think I'm just going to start with the basic shape of most buildings. Okay, this wall is going to go up about this height, and then there is like half a circle on top of this, which is not the most easy thing to build in here. But okay, so the next building I'm seeing is just like a very tall one, like that, and then there's just walls on the side that are lower and it's like a pointy roof. It's definitely not going to be the most detailed, most insane buildings ever, mainly because we only have an hour. But keep remembering that. So I'm going to of course try and do my best. Alright, well that's that shape. I kind of want to build at least 4 of them, and I can of course hopefully change them in colors. So let's build the saloon, I guess, right now. Alright, there we go. We now have a few houses. I'm probably going to make actually a few a little bit darker so they blend a little bit less in with the floor. Okay, well these are of course extremely ugly and they're basically nothing. So it's time to add some decoration on it. And most of the simple decoration is just going to be tons and tons of poles and beams basically everywhere. And a lot of time will actually go to building all of this. But at least the rest of the roller coaster shouldn't take too long. And we will even add this nice edge around here. Now I would love to add some signs in here, but signs don't copy over in blueprints, so I might add them like at the end. Well, I know this might be very simple, but this is basically how most of these buildings are going to look. I just need to make sure I add all of these poles basically in every single building. And while I'm out building this, I'm also starting to see some buildings that Lena is doing. I'm not really sure what the theme is, but at least she is having a station building. I don't think I am going to have a station building, since it's just going to be in the middle here. Cheater? What do you mean cheater? Apparently, guys, I need a station building. The station building is basically this. I will see if I can come up with something. Alright, well, that's 2 of these buildings basically finished. That means I now, well, basically, I got 3 left with that. So if I remember correctly, this is the saloon. And luckily, it's quite similar to the other building. So I'm just going to copy over most of the props. I just need to, well, change the color. And this is actually taking quite a lot of time making like stuff like this. So I try to avoid this as much as I can. I do have to say that does look actually pretty fire. Penny, you have panic? Oh no, why do you have panic, Lena? Your bed? No. I think you're building somewhere that actually looks really cool. Alright, time for the last building I need to construct, which is going to be like the, I don't know, like the church building basically. We have only 20 minutes left, and it looks like this. This does not look good for me. Okay, I think that is all the buildings now complete. So, well, first of all, let's move them out of the way since I actually need to place them. Now, I know they're all sort of the same color now, but I will change that. So I'm just going to start placing them in, and then we can eventually also change some of the colors. And of course, they're not all going to be in the perfect line like they were how I built them. So I hope that with this effect, it starts to somewhat feel like a street. And then with just oh my god, I should not be doing that. And then with just a ton of different barrels, junk, and then hopefully with some cactus and some palm trees all around, it starts to look pretty cool. And then this is sort of like a corner building that's going to be like sideways. All right, now the only thing I have to do is sort of change some of these colors so they don't look the same as the other buildings. All right, I think that actually looks now like a nice street. All right, so what I'm going to do is just copy over these buildings and paste them to the other side to be about here. Actually, I want to place this one also a little closer. All right, I think that actually seems to have worked pretty good. And since they're of course flipped, it doesn't look at all the same. I definitely want to change the terrain in here, since I feel like everything being so much limestone and stuff is a little bit annoying. So I guess if we add like pockets of sand, I'm not really sure how that's going to look or work, but just to add a little bit more color to the build itself. Okay, now it is just time to add a ton of random junk everywhere. This is of course supposed to be like a living, breathing town. Right now it doesn't really look like it, but I hope it just a ton of junk. I'm actually also going to just add some junk in the middle here. And luckily we have actually quite a lot of Western props in this game. We have like TNT, treasure chest, cannonball. Although cannonballs is not really. We actually have some anvil, some buckets. I even think hay bale is quite Western, since of course they normally would have horses. And we can even make some of these like blocked off, as if they like no one lives in them anymore. Not sure why, but more detail. And while I'm building, let's actually have a look. Oh my god, I didn't look for like 5 minutes and Lena built a whole damn city. Okay, well that is going to be a challenge of winning this. Oh my god, that actually seems pretty good. Okay, we have about 13 minutes left, which is actually quite enough, I think, for what I all want to do. Now I'm just going to add some random lights everywhere. I don't know why, it just needs a little bit. And then once this town is actually finished, I think I'm just going to focus a little bit on the ground, and then of course natures and trees and all the other stuff that you need to place. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for something like this. It is rotated a little bit, so if I just start placing this around, of course it's still a desert, so it's not going to go up too much the whole time, but basically to make this look a lot nicer than what it is right now, let's add just a ton of these different things. The only downside of placing this is that supports often go away, so I need to look out with doing that and place it as good as possible. I guess it's also saying out of park bounds a lot. That's not ideal. Okay, well that already looks a lot less blocky and whatever it is. I think that's decent enough. And I think I'm just going to add all of those like the sand pockets, like just all over the place, just a little bit, just so it's not the same color basically everywhere. I think that helps a little bit with seeing the difference in the floor. It might look a little weird, but it just kinda needs it. All right, well now that we have it on this side, let's also place it on the other side, all these rocks. And actually one of the first things I said that I really disliked the colors of the roller coaster, and we're, well, 50 minutes in and I still have not changed them, which I need to do before I forget it. So before we place all the palm trees and cacti, let's do this. Now for the roller coaster, it's probably just going to be like this brown color, and then we can do this spine a little bit darker. I think that's pretty nice. And the supports are probably going to be like the light color of the sand itself. All right, well now that we have some very simple and basic terrain that looks somewhat okay, it is time to get some, I guess first some cactus. Sadly we don't have remodeled cactus yet, so we're going to have to do with the old ugly cacti, which I think if we just place it a little bit around, not too much actually, I think it looks pretty nice. Lena is also actually building a lot. That looks also really good. I cannot deny that. All right, well now it's time to add most of the palm trees, which of course are hopefully going to spice up this whole area. So let's make that a little bit bigger, and we're just going to place all of this around. Actually, I'm not really sure how Western palm trees are. I just realized it desperately needs some green nature, so we're just going to place all of this around. I'm not sure if it's actually realistic having palm trees, but I am fine with it. Alright, well now that I think we have enough nature and stuff in here, let me first remove these buildings that we don't need anymore. And I am just going to select a few of these buildings and place them also like, I don't know, in some other places. Just to fill some of the empty spaces up. It might be a little bit copy-paste stuff, but I think it will be fine. Now, do I have a queue or an exit? No. Do I need it? Maybe. Am I going to be very lazy? Yes. No. So let's just make a brick path all the way like this. And that's how you get in the area, guys. The queue. Well, I don't really have that much room. Do I? No. Okay, the queue is in place, guys. This is kind of bad, isn't it? Well, I don't really have time anymore to fix that. Since it's just time to add a ton of random props all over the place. The more the merrier, I guess. It is now just basically panic placing stuff around and hope it works. And a fun fact, I actually haven't seen a POV of the roller coaster. I am seeing it go through here and it's going particularly fast. Oh my god, I need to fix that. Okay, well, with the last few minutes, I think I'm just going to add a ton of different props throughout this area just to, I guess, give it some life. We have a water tower right here. There's going to be some simple buckets around there. I don't know why. Where are the wagons? A lot. I don't know why I haven't placed any wagon yet. Oh my god, I am very bad for that. Now, I would love to have some wagons with some horses, but I don't think I have time to build a whole horse. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. Should I build a train track somewhere? I don't know. Not really. I don't have time for that anymore. I guess we'll just place an anvil. We'll play, I don't know. At this point, I don't really know what I'm doing anymore. Just more stuff. We can place a well on top of this rock. We can place a well on top of that rock. And I'm just going to add, I don't know, whatever. I know some of the supports have been going away, which is not really anything I can do about. Okay, the last 20 seconds. Let's just place a few more rocks around, I don't know, this pit area, just so that looks a little nicer. And I at this point, I think I am pretty happy with how this looks. And that also means the timer is finished right now. All right, Lena, stop building. Here we are finished. Oh my god, this was stressful. All right, well, we will start with mine. After that, we'll of course look at what you built in 1 hour. And then after this, you can let me know down in the comments who has made the best build in 1 hour. All right, well, as you might have seen or know, I went for a Western build. And the idea behind this was that both coasters are going to pass each other when they launch, as if they're like shooting each other. I'm not sure how good the timing works. I haven't really tested it too much. But I think once this coaster comes by, the other coaster comes here too. And they pass each other on actually pretty good. So you have to sort of like see as like being a battle and they're shooting each other. Yeah. Does it look good? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm actually quite happy with that. The rest of the thing is just mainly like desert and some other stuff. But that does mean we can get in the roller coaster. And this is also actually the first time I'm seeing the POV. I have no idea if it's smooth or rough or if it's way too fast or too slow. But we are going to go all the way up here. Actually, it's pretty nice. And then we go in this overbank turn. Now, this inversion isn't the best, but I think it works. And then we have a, I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I just did something. I had time stress. Then we go into this dive loop, which I'm actually quite happy with this part. We have a nice airtime hill going through. I don't know why this canyon is right there outside of the town, but it works. Then we see the other coaster live on the other side. And then we go all the way on this. I don't know, it's like an inverted top hat, but like the parts before it are inverted. The only thing is, I feel like this part of the roller coaster is possibly a little bit too quick and not really smooth. And you're just going to launch inside of the brakes. And that's it. But if you had to rate it 1 out of 10, what would you give it? A 2. All right, great. Well, I also built some of the towns all over here and back there. You don't really see them in the POV, but I think I am pretty happy. Like this in 1 hour is impressive. But you know what else is impressive? I think what you have done in 1 hour. So let's head over to your plot. All right, here we are. You basically built a whole town. And I think what you did is build one house and then made sure it was different on each side, right? All right, well, should we ride the roller coaster or is there anything you want to show? No? All right, well, then we are going to ride the roller coaster. Let's have a seat. Okay, here we go. I also actually haven't seen this POV. So we are going to start with a lounge. Go all the way upside down. That is pretty smooth. I like that. I like that. Then we go. Oh, okay. what is that inversion called? All right, this is nice. I do really like the buildings. I do think your buildings are better than mine. And then we go around here. It's just that this roller coaster is maybe a little short. Well, it's not short, but it's shorter compared to mine. Yeah. which is, it's fine. It's fine. It's 1 hour, guys, is not a lot to build all of this. This is very, very impressive to build in 1 hour. I do really like all the campsites you build around here. It is funny, we sort of build the same-ish theme. Like it's
Why?
what?
Because you copied me.
Oh, I copied you. I did not copy you at all. I had this idea
I
since
yesterday, and you were like, oh, I'm going to do this.
No, it wasn't this. It was Western. I had this idea.
No.
But you guys can decide who actually won. So let me know down in the comments. Maybe also a community post where you can vote for who won. So is it either Lena, her... What is the theme? What is it called? Well, you don't know. It's these type of buildings. Or is it my Western building street thingy? Alright guys, we want to thank you so much for watching. Is there anything you want to say? No, subscribe. Say subscribe, say subscribe. Say subscribe. Subscribe. So guys, we will say, as always, goodbye. You need to wait. Goodbye.